Hey guys, it's Kathy here, and I am filming this video from our trailer, if you couldn't tell. I'm still playing around with the setup. I don't 100% know what I'm doing yet, so please bear with me if this is a horribly shot video. I do apologize, but I'm still learning, and very much a learning process here. So I just wanted to get into what we want to talk about today, which is my April budget. Did I actually budget in April? How did the pandemic affect my budgeting? What happened? Did I save money? Was I able to pay off debt? Well, here goes. So, first things first, April was not a normal month for budgeting, okay? As many of us have experienced during this pandemic, nothing has really been normal, and my budget was not an exception. So let's get started by saying, what did I not do during April's budget? Okay. Confession time. I did not budget in April, period. I used the Every Dollar app. It's a program on my computer. It's on anyone's computer. It's online. It's an online program by Dave Ramsey. And I didn't follow it at all in April. I didn't even budget, period. I did not transfer any figures into the next month. I didn't record my husband's income and budget. I didn't. I simply didn't because, first of all, he barely brought in any money in April. And second of all, I wasn't using cash at all, which is strange. I really got used to using cash, and I really like using cash, but it just didn't happen in April. It was not a great month, to be honest, and if I'm being totally truthful, I kind of wanted to hide from my budget during April. It was not a fun thing to look at because we had been paying off debt pretty well, and in April I just glanced at the minimum statements in our bank account, and in our bank, like it's online banking. I glanced at the minimum payments required for our credit cards, and I just paid those without even trying to pay anything extra. And I'll get into that in a minute as to why I didn't even try, which you might have guessed already, but it was not a very, should I say, positive month financially. We took a hit for sure, as I'm sure many of you did as well. So we follow Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. Have the book, read it. I'm following it. I'm on step number 2, debt repayment, debt snowball, I guess is the step. And so it's where you pay off your smallest debt first, and then you snowball that money into your next debt, and so on and so forth. I press pause on our debt snowball with the intention of resuming it once the economy gets back, my husband gets back to work on a more regular hours, and more, back to normal, right? So any extra money we happen to have does get put into an account, and we're just sitting there, and if we need it, I will use it, but if we don't need to use it, I will pay off more on our debt snowball. Okay? So while it's on pause, our snowball's just sitting there on a hill, just sitting and waiting patiently for us to give it a little push down, right? But right now it's just sitting there. It's okay. It's kind of an individual situation where you have to do what's right for you and your family. And for us, I feel like having that extra bit of cash accessible makes more sense than putting it on our credit card where we can't access it. We don't want to put more money on our credit card, so it doesn't, so it just makes sense to just have this cash, and then when we return to a more normalcy, I can pay off more on our debt. Okay. So also during this pandemic, I have not taken out cash. I followed the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover book, and we use the cash envelopes, but I have not been taking out cash for the envelopes because we haven't been dealing in cash. Most establishments, grocery stores, gas stations want you to use debit cards so that you don't, they're not handling money. And I'm respecting that, and I'm not using cash, which has kind of created another problem for us where we're using debit cards all the time, and it's a lot harder to track money and how much money is in our account, because when we have cash, we knew I took out this much money, this much is left, all right? But when using debit card, it's just, I don't know if it's a mind thing, but I just find it so much more difficult. So that also did not go well with me not budgeting in April. I believe we spent more money than we should have. Even though we weren't going anywhere, our groceries were more expensive. It seemed we were buying more things because we were trying to only go out once a week to get our groceries like we're supposed to. I should note that I live with someone who's immunocompromised, so out of respect for her, we were trying to not go out as much as possible. Not even out of respect, just out of common courtesy and decency. Like, I don't want to make my sister sick, okay? Even more than she is. So, I don't handle cash. I was using debit. I was only going out once a week for groceries. I'm the grocery person. So, I just went out and got groceries for the family. And, you know, we buy multiple items of things because we're only going out once. So, groceries were more expensive. And my family members did pay me back a lot of the times in cash. But I was keeping the cash, right? So I wasn't putting it back in the bank account. So the bank account was dwindling pretty good. Now, obviously, if I had to, I could have put that cash into the bank, right? But I've held on to it because I haven't had to do that yet. And fingers crossed, I won't. But as well, we have the cash envelopes on hand here, like at home, that I was using before. So we still have that all that cash that was in those envelopes on hand as well. So if need be, I can put cash into our bank account if I need to bump it up a bit. I haven't done that yet, but I will say that I did dip into our emergency fund one week because my husband hardly worked and we're getting groceries. I'm the grocery person. So I put a couple hundred into our other account just to make sure I had enough, and it will be paid back. Like, we have $800 now in our tax-free savings, like our emergency fund, which is in a tax-free savings account, and it will be paid back by the end of May, and sooner if my husband gets back to work sooner, right? But what I could have done differently with taking money out of emergency fund is use the cash that I have on hand, put it in our bank account, and use that. But I just chose to use our emergency fund because I could just transfer the money online, didn't have to go to a bank or bank machine or anything to do it, and I just did it that way. And that was my choice. I don't regret it. I know we have the money on hand, but I'm just gonna wait and replenish it kind of naturally. We have like a set amount come out into that account every month anyways, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and it will replenish by the end of May unless I fill it up faster. So that's where we are with that. That was April. What a month. Okay. I don't recommend doing what I just did, hiding from your budget during a pandemic. It's not a good thing. I do regret it. I think I failed my budget in April. But you know what? May is a new month and I've done things a little bit differently. So in May, I have made a budget, okay? A budget has been made. I feel really good about it. I have adjusted some things on it. Like you're using way less gas. We're paying more for groceries. So, you know, I decreased gas. I increased our grocery budget. And I'm going to keep track of my husband's paychecks. Hopefully he's working more this month. And I will keep track of his income. And obviously keep track of the money that's leaving our account, paying bills automatically, and our credit card bills. But I am still hitting pause on that debt snowball. I'm not ready to put more money onto our debt. So I'm going to continue minimum payments and continue paying our car payment and stuff like that, and wait until things get back to normal. And once my husband is working regularly for more often, I will, not more often, regularly, full-time hours, I will then be putting our money that we have saved, or hopefully we still have saved, onto debt repayment and continue like we were before the pandemic. That's the goal. Also in May is tax time, which technically was April, but did I do taxes in April? No, because I hid away from our financials in April, okay? So I'm doing taxes. Why I hid away from taxes, I don't know, because we do get a return, but anyways, I did. And so I'm doing our taxes tomorrow, and so we will have a refund on that, and we'll have to decide what to do with it. What it's looking like right now is we're just going to hang on to it again until this economy kind of gets back on its feet and we really know what to do. So I'm going to make another video on what we do with our taxes when I actually do them and know what the refund is. Okay, so that's pretty much what our plan is for May. We're going to keep hitting pause on that debt snowball, but saving money in our account for when the economy returns to normal. We will pay off more on that debt snowball, just push it, just give it a nudge down the hill. We'll slowly begin building our money back up and paying off more than the minimum payment of our credit card. So I would love to just push it down the hill as hard as I can, so it just rolls, and we're done with our debt. But that's probably not going to be the case. I'm just going to nudge it down the hill once my husband gets back to work regularly and we have a more regular check coming in every week. We're just going to see how this tax refund goes and decide what to do with it. But like I said, I will make another video on that just to tell you how we dealt with our taxes. And that's it. I'm just not going to hide from our budget anymore. That was a big mistake. It doesn't pay to hide your head in the sand. So if you did what I did in April and you are hiding from your budget because you don't like what it says, because I certainly didn't, get your head out of the sand and tackle that budget, all right? You'll feel better by doing it. I did. I feel better that I know what we need to do, and I will definitely feel better knowing how much money is coming in and how much is going out. And especially if you're dealing with debit cards, a budget will help keep that in line as well. A budget is a very individual thing, so you need to have one in order to assess on what your next steps are going to be. If you know how much money is coming in and how much is going out, you'll be able to determine what is the right steps for you to take during this pandemic. Ours was to press pause on our debt repayment, and that was the most important thing to do. And now also it is to keep track of our debit card spending, because that gets out of control really easily, even during this time where we're not even out much, but it still happens. So that's what we're working on. You need to focus on what you're working on if you're having issues like I was. And May is a new month. Let's tackle it head on. Let's be awesome and succeed and not hide from it. Because let's not talk about April. Let's talk about May, move forward, be strong, and just deal with whatever the budget says. You might not like what you see. I don't particularly, but if we remain ignorant, we will forever remain in debt as well. And let's get out of debt, right? So with that, stay positive, work hard, and wash your hands.